This is why you don't do puzzles, kids.
When Magnus Carlsen shares an advice like this, it's clear that the world listens. So in this video, I want to unpack this advice, share why it's not fully true, but what Magnus's point is, and more importantly, how you can train so you see tactics not only during your training, but actually in your games. So let me say this right away, you should do tactics, guys. Tactics exercises are important to build up your skills. But the problem is that only doing tactics is not enough. And you might have realized this because when you solve these positions, these puzzles online, you can see them quickly. You know there is a fork, it's easy to find the fork. You know even that there is a tactic, well, it's easy to find that tactic. What these puzzles do for you is two things mainly. Pattern recognition, which just is a fancy word for, well, you get better at finding forks. And the second thing is that they help your calculation because, well, if you're doing them the right way, you see an idea, a tactical idea, but you want to see it until the end. So you force yourself to start calculating longer lines. And with that guide rail of knowing that there is a tactic, you can focus purely on your calculation. But Magnus is correct in saying that puzzles don't fully train you for the game. Here is what he said about why you shouldn't do puzzles.
If this is a puzzle, you see it immediately. But in puzzles, you're trained to see puzzles. Well, in games, you're not, So it's not that helpful.
I'm sure you can relate to this, going through your game and looking at the moment and thinking, oh my God, once I see the engine evaluation, once I know that there is a solution, it's so obvious. Why didn't I find that? Well, the reason is that if you're only doing tactics, and that's very important, we still want to do tactics, but if you're only doing tactics, if you're only solving puzzles, you're not really training the skill that is needed during a game to find those moments. Because here are the key differences between just solving puzzles and playing a game. First of all, during a game, you are in uncertainty. You don't know if there is a solution. You don't even know if you are better or your opponent is better, if your opponent has ideas, right? So if you just do puzzles, you never train for that uncertainty. The second thing is, in a game, you're under time pressure. You can't invest the same amount of time in every single move. You need to quickly decide, should I invest my time here or should I just move on? Again, in a puzzle, you just take as much time as you want. The third key difference is that during a game, actually most moments aren't about tactics. So it's really about filtering out and gaining also a skill of how do I actually make a decision when it's not about a tactic, right? So it's not only about finding the tactics in the game, but it's also how do we actually train for the moments where there is no tactic? Because we don't train that in puzzle. Key difference number 4 is that sometimes in your games, your opponent can actually also do something. So you're never looking at that either, right? You look at the tactics, you look at the puzzle, you know, I will have the solution. During the game, your opponent maybe planned the trick for you. You never train that, you likely fall for it. Then there's also the skill of evaluating a position. Again, if you're looking at a puzzle, you know that you're winning or likely you can do something, right? And the last but not least, you're also not skilled to search for a tactic, right? We said that in every position you need to decide, well, do I spend time here? And you also need to say, well, do I have a process for actually figuring out if there is a tactic? Because again, everything is given in a puzzle already. So there is one way of training that actually all of my famous coaches did with me and most strong coaches do with their students, but that doesn't get talked about a lot online, which is doing tests. So from when I was 12 years old, I had the pleasure to work with Grandmaster Artur Yusupov, former world number 3 and very famous coach. You might have heard of his books. Now, what we would do is when we had national training camps, we'd get there on Friday, and every Friday we would have a test. Well, every Friday that we were on a training camp, it wasn't every weekend. So we would get 12 positions, I think it was, 2 hours time, and for every position we needed to write down a decision. Now, what was the difference to normal puzzles is that not all the positions had tactical solutions. Some were just develop a piece. Somewhere your opponent has an idea and you need to find it and stop it. Somewhere, oh, there is a tactic, but it doesn't work. So it was really game-like positions and it was really difficult. And this way of training is an extremely important complementary thing to all of the tactical puzzles that you're doing, because you're training all of the things that we just talked about that make a game so difficult. You have the time pressure, you just have 2 hours, you need to decide how much time you spend on every single position. You need to evaluate in order to understand what you're actually looking for. You're training uncertainty during this test because you have no idea, well, maybe I'm better here, maybe I'm lost here. Where should I spend my time, right? It's a stressful experience. And because you need to write down the solution to every single position, you train decision making. You're actually forcing yourself to execute something, even if you're not sure that this is the right solution. That's really what happens during game. But there is one thing that is actually more important than everything else, in my opinion, when you start solving these tests. It is that you're starting to expand your comfort zone. Now, what I see a lot online is sadly that people get very anxious when they play games and they get stressed and make simple mistakes. Now, why is that? Now, obviously, it's also because, well, you care too much about your rating probably. But also, you are never training a difficult situation like it will happen in a game. When you start doing these tests, your training starts to be harder than your actual games because you're not going to have so many difficult positions in one single game. And once you start training in this uncertainty under pressure, you actually realize that, during the game, it feels easier. It feels less stressful because I'm used to have any kind of position. I'm not just going into my structure and if, my opponent doesn't play the London, I don't like what I'm getting, right? No, you're just getting any position and you start making decisions. So when your training gets hard, you're expanding your comfort zone, you get less anxious, you feel more confident in your decision making, and that will result in better moves and better results. Now, while this might sound very good and I hope you're excited to start training this way, I want to share 2 things, 2 kind of quick, hey, be careful. The first is that this training only works when it's really hard. So be ready to challenge yourself, to make a lot of mistakes, to not quit if you get, 2 out of 12, right? If you solve tests, the whole point is that you're gonna get a wrong answer. What will help you then is to understand how you could have thought differently, what you can do in a thought process, in a decision making, in evaluation of positions to get better and closer to the right solution. And the second thing is that if you're not yet above 1500 chess.com rapid or FIDE rating, this training can confuse you more than it can help. Because most of your games are decided by simple tactics, are decided by hanging pieces, are decided by, there is a fork and it's pretty obvious. So getting better at this, working on the fundamentals, really working on that pattern recognition is what will bring you to 1500. And then having the right thought process during games, so playing a lot and doing a lot of tactics is what really helps you. If you are between 1500 and 2000 chess.com rapid or FIDE or an equivalent of it, then I built something for you. I've recommended this way of training for so long, but I didn't know where to guide my people to. So I built it myself. It's called Real Chess Training and it's very simple. Every single Monday, members get a test with 6 positions. They get 45 minutes and they solve these 6 positions. You write down your decision making, and then afterwards you not only get the solutions, but you actually get a video walkthrough of every single position. So you get to see the right thought process, the right candidate moves, what threats you should have seen, what was the right way to think about this position. So even if you get it wrong, you get clear feedback on what you can do to get better. So if you're in this rating range and you're curious about this way of training, there is a link below where you can get a totally free first sample test. 6 positions, 45 minutes with a video walkthrough. And if you enjoy this way of training, if if you want to train so you can actually bring your tactics not only in your training, but also during your game, you want to train your decision making, evaluation, and all these skills we've talked about, then make sure to join Real Chess Training. I'll see you in there. And for everybody else, if you're below that rating range or above, let me know in the comments below if you'd love to have a resource for your level as well. I might build it in the future. No matter if with Real Chess Training or in another way, remember, you shouldn't only do tactics, you should also train in a game-like way. Push yourself, and the harder the training is, the easier your games will feel. See ya in the next one.